Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about transit Venus, sextile, or trine one's natal Mars. Now, when you have this transit, it could manifest in love, enjoyment, relationships, money, your values. This could be in harmony with your vitality and energy. It can be a time when you have the right amount of energy um, to make money, to generate income at this time. It's about having values also are in harmony with courage and fortitude at this time. It's really a time where you also have a good opportunity, I would say, to defend what you feel your values are. And I mean, if you have your say if the transit Venus is in Libra. It could just be things connected with equal rights, fairness, uh, just being equitable. These are things where you have when you have this transit, it's also a time to really love and enjoy things that are taking action on matters. It's also connected with, Mars is also associated with aggression, assertiveness. It can be a time where you may be more assertive as far as maybe trying to go for a position that might pay you a little bit more money. Um, if you're working in sales, say if you have transit, if you have transit Venus, and say if it's in Gemini, it could be you may be working in some kind of sales, and it's also um, it's a time if you're in, as that example in sales, you have to be aggressive, you got to be assertive, and this is the time where you're more apt to do so. It's a good job for people that are in, whether it's door-to-door sales, or you're a car salesman, or you're doing just general selling. You could be just selling to the public. You could be working in a retail store, and this is the time where you're apt to be more, aggressive, but not in a way where it's going to where customers may be rebuffed by it. It's a time where you could be aggressive in trying to sell an item, and being in doing so and making money in this, of course. And this is a time where it can be very auspicious for that. It could be also a time where, Venus is about our relationships, and since Mars is connected with action, relationships are something where you could take a better opportunity to take action on. If you're somebody, say if you're single and you're dating, you haven't been going out in some time, this is a time where you could better opportunity to initiate a love relationship at this time, more so than usual. And I would say too that at this time as well, now anatomically speaking, Mars is connected with the head, the skull, the face, sexual organs. If you've had any issues with these things that I just described that are anatomically connected with Mars, it's a time where you would be more apt to have the money to actually do something about it. And even a lot of times, people that are, of course, affluent and prosperous, they have a lot of money anyway. These transits will not make a difference, of course, in terms of having the money to do things, but those people may have be more apt to want to spend the money at this time more so than usual. If it's a person, some people are wealthy, but they hold on to their money, sometimes unnecessarily, or they just want to make sure they save it for something critical or what have you. But this is the time where you'd be more apt to spend money on this. And Venus is also about value and our values, so it's a time where you would value those issues more. If there were any issues, again, like say with the head or the skull, or the face or sexual organs at this time. And another thing too is that Mars is also connected with physical strength, and it's a time where you have the vitality, the physical strength to do things that you may enjoy, which is connected with Venus. If Venus, say, is in Aquarius, it could be things connected with astrology or computers or humanitarian, also altruistic endeavors, things with meteorology or aviation, innovation as some examples. And I'm thinking too about this as well. What makes this a very auspicious transit is the fact that Venus is connected with our self-worth, our self-esteem, and how we feel about ourselves. Mars is about, our drive, our motivation, and an enthusiasm. And it's a time where if you're trying to do something that will help you, improve your self-esteem, it could be doing something very physical, such as could be working out vigorously. It could be just a time where you have because Mars is about enthusiasm and Venus is about what we enjoy, and again it's about our self-worth. It's a time too where these things where you can have that more the enthusiasm to do things that might enhance and improve your self-worth, your self-esteem, and how you feel about yourself. It's a time where you could take action in those matters and what you're going to do to do things that might augment your self-worth at this time. And it's also a time too that Mars is also connected with anger. So it's a time too where your relationships that you're with, maybe it's a time where it's less acrimonious if there was a situation that was contentious in a relationship that you were in or you're in. Or it could be a time where you could put your anger into more constructive things, finding a way to find peace at this time and resolve the anger issues. By doing so, relationships may be more beneficial in those issues. If you've had any, this is in the cases if you've actually been a person that's had like some temper or some anger issues, this is a time when the relationships may be more auspicious in helping you dealing with this. And it's also a time to because Mars is also, Mars is about violence as well. So it's also a time where if there's been some issue that's been going on, if you've been involved in anything violent with somebody, if your Venus is also, remember, connected with lawsuits and legal matters, this might be a time where money may come in from this. If you've had sued somebody, maybe it was over some violent action, or it could be an accident. In some cases Mars is associated with accidents. Let's say the natal Mars is in Gemini and or the third house, it could be a vehicle related accident. This could be the time where money may be coming in for that at this time. And Mars also is associated with combat and confrontation. So this is a time where if you have to confront anybody, or a relationship you're in, it could be a romantic connection, it could be somebody that you're in an important friendship with. This could be the time where you confront these people and have less negative repercussions as a result of this at this point in time. And also too, Mars is about courage. So it's also a time where relationships, if you're trying to pursue one, may be there for you. Or if you're in a relationship, I should say, they will likely be there for you in matters that resolve certain courage at this time, fortitude. It can be these people might be more inspirational in you to do something, whether it's taking action in a situation, standing up to somebody. They're more apt to benefit you in those matters at this time, more so than usual. And the thing too is, it's a time too where you may value your physical strength at this time, what you can do. If you have the natal Mars in Scorpio, say, it may be trying to do things physically that may seem insurmountable to a lot of other people. If you have the natal Mars in Capricorn, it could be doing something that requires, associated with obstacles, like an obstacle course. And Capricorn is associated with obstructions. And let's say that could be an example, or doing something with construction could be another example. And also making money in doing so at this time as well. You could be, everybody that's at some professional job obviously is making money, but it might be a time where you might come into more money for it at this time, because it is a good positive aspect between Venus, trans Venus, and the natal Mars. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. And another thing about Mars, it's also connected with injuries. So if it is a time, keep in mind Venus again is connected with legalities and lawsuits. If you've been waiting on money or some injury, whether it was due to an accident or whatever it might be, this is the time you may come into it. Or if you had it, you needed money to take care of a physical related injury, may not have been from an accident, could just be an injury that you suffered at work or at home. And say if the natal Mars is in Aquarius, it could be some injury to the ankles, the shins, the lower legs, the nerves, as some examples. Now, another way this transit may manifest, it could be that relationships, which is Venus, may be more in harmony with what drives and motivates you, which is Mars. Let's say if the natal Mars is in Taurus in the 10th house as an example, it could be something monetary, which is Taurus, and success, which is the 10th house. And it could also be a time where it's auspicious to receive money, which is Venus, for something you want to initiate, which is Mars. Let's say, for example, if the natal Mars is in the zodiac sign Cancer in the 8th house, it could be something with the home, which is Cancer, and renovation or transformation, which is the 8th house. It also may be a time where it could be very positive for peaceful, which is Venus. It could be sexual, which is Mars, relationships. If the natal Mars is in Leo, say it could be with a person that's a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant, or one that simply embodies Leo characteristics. And also it could be a time where it's easy to love and enjoy, which is Venus. The things that require physical strength, which is Mars. If the natal Mars is in Capricorn, it could be rock or mountain climbing or something with construction, or even running through an obstacle course, because I'm sure that requires certain physical strength as well. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.